you're huddled up in bed, faces like Emily's face right now. Comfy is good. Comfy is good. Thank you all for coming to hang out with me for just a little bit today. A couple things that I wanted to do so that we are good for both today and tomorrow. So that I just have to see you on Wednesday. First, any going back a little bit, any questions on anything from section 0 or section 1.1 that came up while you were maybe working through reviews, looking at past videos, checking notes, anything? Talk to me.
If I didn't turn the review in on Sunday because I was in Dallas, is it too late for me to still turn it in?
No, not at all. Not at all. You can get stuff to me whenever you can. Basically, you just get the most points for doing it by a certain date. But I will take it up. I'll take anything that you do at any point, and I'll give you some credit for it.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So I just set them like I wanted to kind of chunk.
Already, though?
What's that?
Is it even worth it if you already have an A though?
It can just help you avoid like a bad final grade pulling you down to a B. Like that's what I'm trying to help people avoid is like I want to give you a little like wiggle room. Now maybe you don't have to, right? But like you can play that game where you pretend like, okay, I got a 0 on the final because I didn't show up, or I got a 60 or I got an 80 and to try to figure out what your grade would change to if that were the case. So we can play the what if game if you want to see how much work, because everybody's got different priorities and different things that they want to do. So I just wanted to give you a chance to push your grade up a little bit before we got to the final, because I've gone through that where somebody's got a B and they're like, I'm good. As long as I don't get like a 40 on the final, I got this. And then they get like a 26 and now they have a C. And I don't want to hear begging on December 17th. Oh, Rosie, I didn't study enough. I don't want to hear that. So this is your chance. You know what I mean? I'm trying to help you guys out. So do it if you want. It's up to you. If you're in a good shape, then don't. If you know what you're doing, then you don't have to worry about it and you can focus on other stuff. I'm cool with that. That's totally up to you. That's why I wanted to give you this chance to be on your own and do your own thing and do what you need to do. So do you. That's all that matters. All right. Any other leftovers, questions? Section 0, section 1.1?
Like, explain, like, how do you, like, when do we use the soft brackets and the hard brackets?
Okay. Soft brackets are for infinity.
Okay.
Only.
Okay.
As far as we went. I mean, there's other times where you could like, so there's like, I could draw like an open circle at a point instead of a closed circle. You'd use a soft, we didn't do that because I wanted to save us from a little bit of trouble. So really the only time you ever have to use soft brackets are at infinity if you have an arrow on the right, or negative if you have an arrow on the left, or infinity going up or infinity going down, right? Because we have domain that goes this way and range that goes that way.
Okay.
Really, the only thing that's up and down is range. Domain is left and right. Increasing and decreasing is left and right as well, right?
Okay.
Hard brackets for numbers, any points. So if you have like a beginning point, or you have like, we're talking about range, so you go like lowest to highest, right? If you don't run into an arrow, then you have a number there and you'll put a hard bracket.
Okay.
Cool. And actually to help, let me present something real quick. To hopefully help you all out in dealing with questions like that, like Paige's question like that, what I'm trying to do on every section. So if you go to assignments, at the top section, you have this whole final exam kind of breakdown, right? And the final exam itself is right there, not the actual final exam, but like links to the Google Meets that we'll log on to take the final, link to the Algebra II playlist if you wanted to go back to look at old videos. All that stuff is there. But like if you click on each individual section for the review, obviously it's just one big long review. But like if you clicked on, Paige was talking about key feature stuff, the last bullet on each of these will be a link to a photo of a summary for that section. Okay. And so for like section 1.1, I tried to break it down like all these lists of X values. So domain, increasing, decreasing, right? List of Y values, the range. No No intervals here for points, just min and max. And then like to answer Paige's question, so over here on the left, hard brackets for points, soft brackets for negative infinity or infinity, and that's at arrows, okay? Or you can have some combination, right? You could have an arrow on the left, but not on the right, that kind of thing. And so that's what I actually did really recently, like as early as this morning, I think. And that's what this is gonna help me turn the page to what we're doing next. For section 1.2, I added something down here as well. Section 1.2 was transformations. And I think once you see them again, you'll be in good shape. Click here, that'll open up the review itself, and you just kind of slide yourself down to the middle of page number 2. There's transformations, the 14 questions to get that extra credit. But the link at the bottom, click here for a photo of the transformations flow chart. What I wanted to do was give you, again, and I'm gonna do this for every section, one spot where you can go, that's just like a one whiteboard summary of whatever we did in that section, if I can do it. And so that's what I did, I don't know. When we, I think this is actually a picture from when we did it in class. And it's got that flow chart kind of broken down so that you can look at questions like these, right? You've got these 14 questions where number 1 through 10 have just one transformation only. Number 11 has 2. 12 and 13 have 3, and number 14 has 4, right? You got 4 different transformations for that last one, but you've got a spot where you can go back, the notes that came up for us in that section that will allow you to hopefully kind of revisit, go back to, man, I mean, it was forever ago, how to get these things done, right? First thing we do is decide vertical or horizontal, right? The words in black are the words we'll write down. The words in blue are how you get there. Oh, vertical changes happen when the number, whatever it is on the outside. +5, the times 6, the negative, whatever. The horizontal transformations happen on the inside. And if there's no parentheses, it can't be horizontal because it can't be inside something, right? And then we decide what kind of transformation is it? Is it a shift because the number is connected by addition or subtraction? Is it a stretch or compression because the number is connected by multiplication? Or is it a reflection because that negative is sitting out front? And when I say out front, I mean either like right out front, right after the equal sign for vertical, or like right after the parentheses, like right sitting right there. That would be a horizontal reflection if you had a negative sitting right there, right? And then, oh, if it's a shift, I'll follow one of these 2 arrows, depending on if it's horizontal or if it's vertical. If it's a stretch or compression, I'll follow this arrow and I'll just write the words by a factor of. Either way, the last thing I'll write is whatever that number was. If it's a reflection, then I'm just done. Vertical reflection, done. Horizontal reflection, done. Right? And the only thing that seemed to trip us up a lot when we're doing this stuff in class was dealing with those horizontal changes, because those, any kind of horizontal changes, are backwards. Right? They're counterintuitive to what we would expect. To me, I would think a plus is to the right, so we actually went left. A minus is to the right, so we actually went left. When it came time to do stretches and compressions, if your number was bigger than 1, it was a stretch. If your number was between 0 and 1, like 1/2 or 0.7 or whatever, that was a compression. Horizontal switches those. It doesn't switch up and down because that's vertical. It doesn't switch reflections. That's just reflection, right? The horizontal type changes switch this. Switch these two to say stretch or compression correctly, okay? And so all of that is sitting right here in this section for the review for 1.2, okay? I have it in there to drop a missing homework or to change your lowest homework score to a 5 out of 5 if you get this done on time. But a couple people have asked, well, you know what, my homework average is pretty good, but my test average is really what's driving me down. Can I swap the extra credit for like a test ball? Sure, totally. I'm definitely down for that. Just let me know what you want. If you want to do something other than what's written for that section, just give me a shout. Cool. And that's really all I wanted to give you guys today. Was I wanted to show you that you've got all of the resources. I'm going to lay it all out as easily as I possibly can right on each review section, so that the first thing you do is you go to that section, you click on whatever the notes are, and you kind of look at those and see if that helps. Or you go to my my Algebra 2 playlist for all the videos, and you just find that section, and you fast forward through all of my talking, and you get to the good stuff, and you kind of hear me explain it. That's all there for you, because you can fast forward, rewind, pause on all the good stuff or whatever the sections are. Or you stick around right now and you say, you know what, I'm just going to knock out this 1.2 review while Rose is here to help me and make sure that I'm getting all the stuff right. All right? That's cool too, because what I'm going to do today and Wednesday for sure, I'll be here to help you guys work through anything from previous sections that we're looking at, or stuff that's coming forward. Now, I don't have any of the review yet for 1.6, 2.1, or 2.2 yet. That's what I'm going to do tomorrow. I'm going to spend basically from like 11:15 on, when my fourth period class is done, getting all of the rest of the review done, all of the rest of the notes uploaded to each of those sections, so that you have at least a week. Remember, because our final is Thursday, I think at 8 o'clock. I wanted to give you at least a week where everything's prepped, so that you can go in and you can work on whatever you think you need to, not what you don't. I mean, I think it's helpful to do all of them, you know, to just kind of look back and make sure you're comfortable with everything. To make sure you understand what the kind of format of the final is that we talked about last time, to know you got to log on to Google Meet, so I can see.
Is it this Thursday?
No, a week from Thursday. Week from Thursday. During finals week, Thursday at 8 a.m. is every 7th period class that has a final. They're all taking them on Thursday. I think it's the 17th. At 8 a.m. from 8 to 9:30. Now, I don't think the whole test will take you an hour and a half, but I'm going to give you an hour and a half to do it. If you know what you're doing, it should take you about an hour. If you think you need, you know, if you have a little bit more time and you want to, I just don't want you to feel like you're being rushed. So I want to design a test that's maybe just a little bit longer than what we normally would have done in class, but it is going to cover everything. So it's not going to be, you know, 10 transformation questions, and it's probably going to just be a few. You know, it's not going to be 6 different systems. It might just be 1 or 2, right? That kind of thing. So
how many questions are going to be on the final?
I haven't written it yet, so that's a question I really can't answer. But expect something from each of the sections, with a couple varying degrees of difficulty. Like if you look at the transformation review, you see, you know, you've got the first 10 just have 1 transformation, but like 11 has 2, and 12 and 13 have 3, and 14 has 4. You know, maybe there'll just be like 5 of those. You know, a couple that have 1.
And then on the transformations,
has 3.
And then on the transformations, are you gonna do like the line again so that we can like know how many there are, or are you just gonna let us figure it out?
I'm gonna tell you how many there are.
Okay.
And you'll just select the correct one. So everything's gonna be multiple choice. And so for a transformation question, I'll give you the function and I'll say, select the 1 correct transformation, or select the 2 correct transformations, or select the 3, or something like that. You know what I mean? Because everything is going to be multiple choice. But again, let me just, so that it's up there, so that's super obvious, I'm just going to share one more time, because I don't want anybody telling me that they didn't hear this from me. If you go to assignments, you can click on the final exam assignment. Here's how it's going to happen. Right there it is, period 7, Thursday, December 17th from 8 to 9:30. Okay, you'll log on, like this is live. Like you'll just click on that link, and that you'll just log on to that. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you a link to your school email address 1 minute before the start of class. So at 7:59, you're going to get an email that has a link to a Google form. That's the multiple choice final that you'll just click through and submit when you're done. Okay, every question is going to be multiple choice, but there are going to be questions that are going to require separate work. Transformations is not going to be one of those, right? You just pick the right one. But like solving equations or solving a system of equations or finding the vertex using that whole negative b over 2a thing, like I want to see that stuff worked out. So I will make sure that it says like work required. Like the very first part of the question is going to say work required. So you know that you have to upload if you want full credit for these questions. You got to upload any of that separate work that you did by hand, with the name of the day at the top, to this assignment. This is an assignment on Canvas, like you would submit anything. There'll be a submit button for when you're done. You'll just take pictures of however many pages you have. Maybe you have 1 page, maybe you have 2, maybe you have 3. Any work that you think you want a chance to either definitely earn full credit because I said work required, or maybe something you get wrong, but you can get some partial credit if you tell me anything, right? So just want to make that super clear that although the test itself will be just a Google form that you'll get emailed to you, you can't just get 100% by getting them all right. Not even close, right? There's going to be plenty of questions that are going to take just a little bit of side work to make sure that I know you know what you're doing. And that's really a big part of this. And I want to see that negative b over 2. I want to see you solve an equation from section 0 step by step, even if it's just 2 or 3 steps, so that I see that it's your work. That's why you're going to put your name, the date up at the top, so I know it was all you. Because you can use notes. You can go back to the review and look back at that, and you can use old quizzes and tests and stuff that we've done in class. I would rather you do that and rely on yourself rather than me say, shut it down and say you can't use anything, and you're looking at me like this, but your phone's down here while you're looking up the answers. Like I would much rather trust you with your notes than shut it down and say you can't use anything, and then you find each and every way to cheat. So I would rather trust you and allow you to use notes than go through the inevitable of people looking up answers. So I'm not going to make it difficult, but it's not necessarily going to be easy either. I want to make sure that if you're going to get an A in this class, that you've earned it. You're going to get a B. Now, hopefully you guys have heard that schedule of that kind of like that grading scale has shifted a little bit here in the last couple of days, that it doesn't take a 90 to get an A. It takes an 88. All right, 88 through 100 is now an A. 76 through 87 is a B. 64 through 75, 75 is a C. 50, whatever. It's like 88, 76, 64, 52 through 63 is a D. Okay. The district rolled that out to help us realize that students are not getting the same education and can't really do quite as well as they normally would have if we were in school all the time. So hopefully that might give you a little bump in your letter grade that will go with this class. So a lot of opportunities to do well, and here's another one, right? Get this extra credit done, knock that out. Stick around if you want. I mean, I'm going to be here. I have a grad school final that I have to take from 2 to 4. My advanced combinatorics class is over today. I have a nice 2-hour final that I get to sit here and do. So I'm going to stick around till about 1:55, and then I'm going to log off. But anybody that wants to stick around and just work through 1.2 or 1.1 or section 0, old stuff, that's cool. I'll do that. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask them. Otherwise, you're good, and I will see you Wednesday. I'm good with that. Cool. So stick around if you want. Otherwise, have a great day. Have a great tomorrow, and I will see you on Wednesday. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Rosie.
See ya.
Thank you.